Okay, we're back after the news for the second hour of the show. And before we ended the first hour, didn't even realize that was the end of the first hour. Just we ran out of time so quickly that I just am not ready for it. So the end of the first hour, I was trying to point out an issue, the article about leveling off the use of psychotropic drugs on preschoolers. Okay, and this is partly due to the fact that there is a greater awareness of physicians of the potential danger. There is a greater awareness. Couldn't they guess it right off from the beginning? This kind of drug given to children that young. I mean, where did they study anything?
And meanwhile, how many lives have been damaged until they came to the greater awareness, as they say?
Greater awareness of their mistake. And the new generation, that's awful. Little ones, giving them that junk. Oh, can't believe it, as I said. But, the parents should be horsewhipped too, in my opinion. Not just whacking the doctor with a rolling pin or well, you want to stay away from iron skillet because you can kill him and then you end up in jail for nothing for a criminal that has messed up your child life.
But Dr. Carpenter, it's the principle of the thing. I think we know we're not talking in literal terms that we're actually going to do that, but you're from the old school like me. Stop the nonsense. Stop drugging.
Yeah. Stop drugging everybody, not just the kids. Okay. Now, back to the great offenders that has been pretty busy approving drugs, and it is 1 million a shot at least. So what happened this week? Well, actually, it was last week, I think. Yeah, it was last week, and I didn't get around to talk about it. Yeah, September 23rd, FDA and the EU, the European Office, approved a new drug called, the commercial name is Stelara, but actually the chemical is ustekinumab. We are back to umab, okay? This is ustekinumab.
Yeah, I believe I've seen a commercial for it.
You've seen it?
I haven't seen the commercial. I think.
And it is for adults with active psoriatic arthritis. Okay, arthritis derived from psoriasis. Okay? And they say that a lot of people with psoriasis then end up developing arthritis. Well, they call it arthritis, but all it is damage to the nerves. That's what psoriasis can do. And this new umab drug, Stelara, is being glorified by saying that is the first treatment approved for this devastating and complex disease of psoriatic arthritis. Okay? It's the first. Well, actually, they claim is the first in more than 10 years. And with this approval, which is at least $1 million to FDA, the human trial demonstrated efficacy and safety of this drug. Oh, really? Safety. I like to discuss the safety of this Stelara, okay? And it was also approved at the same time by the European office. Okay, they had human trials on it, and he's saying that, what else they're saying about the human trial? And the trials were consistent with the known safety profile of the drug. Okay, known safety. Okay, let's look. I went and looked at another site, and I decided to investigate the side effects. Okay, we need to discuss the side effects. Okay, side effects. Now, the important safety information that are found at a different website are saying serious infection. Stellara can increase the risk of infections.
So a risk of infections is goes with known safety. Serious infection, that's a known safety.
Known safety of the, but they said that Stellara also can produce fever, sweat, chills, muscle ache, cough, shortness of breath, weight loss.
Yeah, that sounds really safe, doesn't it?
Yeah, and warm, red, or painful skin sores. And I thought that was psoriasis that did that. Yeah, and this is against it. Diarrhea, stomach pain, burning when urinating.
What the hell is wrong with these people? That they
I know, but this is just the beginning. Wait a minute, okay?
Oh my God.
Feel very tired. Get a lot of infections, not one, a lot, and infections coming back. Have tuberculosis. Okay? And cancer. This drug can produce, the known safety of this drug is that it can cause, have people developing certain type of skin cancer. Well, I can tell you pretty much, I already know which type of skin cancer it is. But it's a squamous cell carcinoma. But anyway, and then it can cause what they call reversible posterior leukemoencephalopathy syndrome. And they shorten, because it's a ridiculous name, with RPLS. And it's a rare condition that affects the brain and can cause death. This is coming from the use of this drug with no safety.
And Dr. Carpenter, I have a question for you. Yeah. Is the spelling, is it Stellara? Because if that is the name of it, the root of that word is stellar, which means...
Yes, I know. So it's so great.
So for them to put that phony label, because it's like a...
It's just like Allegra for...
Yes, Allegra, Clarion, whatever.
Stupid,
okay, all stupid names. Stellara. So this is a stellar, safe remedy for you.
And meanwhile, no safety. Known safety to get cancer and all of these.
Cancer and brain damage and serious infections and on it goes.
Serious allergic reaction too.
What the hell is wrong with the people who are doing this?
Because FDA gets $1 million per drug approved.
Well, it's genocide again. Genocide.
Yeah, and there's no telling how much this ustekinumab cost. There is no Stellara. There is no... But if you remember, I said that the comment last week was that this drug is the first to handle psoriatic arthritis. It's the first. Well, guess what happened this week? And I need to get the article so I can tell you the exact title, because it's just really absolutely ridiculous. Where is it? Where did I put it? Oh, man. So many papers here. And this is another drug that was just approved this week by FDA, okay? And it's, no, I cannot find the paper, but anyway, the name is another yeah, here it is. Is certolizumab pegol. Okay? Certolizumab. Certo sounds to me like, even is a umab, sounds like it wants to tell you it's certain, okay? But the name of the drug is Cimzia. It makes me think of Cynthia, okay? Cindy? Okay. Cimzia with a Z. Okay? It's just like, it sounds almost like a name of a person. And guess what this drug is? It's a drug to treat psoriatic arthritis. Okay? This is a week later after Stelara was approved as the first.
Yeah, then suddenly this new thing comes out a week later?
Yeah.
A week later.
A week later. And of course, it's still the UMAB thing, so they probably come. They don't. Is actually going to, is approved also for the treatment of moderate to severe active rheumatoid arthritis. So it's just not for the psoriatic arthritis, is also for the rheumatoid arthritis. And my question is, how come the last week that one was presented as the only one? And then, of course, down underneath after the major statement said in 10 years. Now, a week later, there is another one.
Dr. Carpenter,
just saying anything.
Occurs to me here, and it's something that has occurred to me many times, which has been made very clear to me. They are running a psychological operation. Aside from doing all the other damage they're doing, they're running a psyop on people by presenting the so-called information, and also by the names they give these drugs. It's meant to indicate, it's meant to indicate when you hear it, you think of something positive.
Exactly.
It's so great,
And when they give the disclaimer, when they give the disclaimers, about all these side effects, that's when the visual is always real positive, and families doing something, they're having a picnic,
and a dog out in a field of flowers running with the master of the dog, right?
Right. Old folks dancing.
Yes, that's right. That's right. And you know what's interesting to me too is that that quite some time ago, I don't know how long, but many years ago, they banned commercials for tobacco on television, right? Now, tobacco, whatever somebody thinks of it, it is far less deadly than these drugs that are being thrown into people's faces with all this psyop stupidity. Don't you think so? Why would they ban tobacco commercials, and they have this crap which can really kill somebody faster than tobacco?
And suffering through. And if you notice, I don't know if you caught this commercial, they show against the tobacco and smoking, they show the picture of this guy that he was like a walking skeleton. He was coughing. He was hooked up to something that would allow him to breathe better. And they said in the commercial that it was the smoking that caused all this problem, and he just don't smoke. Okay, the guy did not look like somebody that was a smoker. He looked like somebody that was on chemo. Okay? He looked like a cancer patient.
By the time they took a picture of him, I'm sure he was a chemo patient.
Yeah, there was probably a bait and switch. They put up a picture, a false picture.
Of a guy. They put up a guy.
Yes.
And it was years ago. A couple of years ago, there was another commercial that was showing this guy that had a leg amputated, and it somehow was connected with the smoking. Okay? Well, what happened is that the guy sued the company that was running the commercial because he was an actor, a model, the model for that picture, and he was not missing a leg.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Yeah. So that tells you what really is going on.
Advertising. Completely false.
It's just unbelievable how they can get away with that. Okay, and then now another $1 million to FDA at least on September 30th. So all this is so one after the other. On September 30th, another drug called Brintelix. So they don't tell you, oh yeah, the vortioxetine of the time. I don't know. Anyway, the brand name is Brintelix, but okay, it's a drug to treat what? Adult with major depressive disorder. You know, it's another antidepressant, but it's major depressing disorder, and that major depressing disorder has its own name, so it's MDD. Okay.
Okay. MDD, major depressive disorder.
That's a new disease, you see. It's not like depression. This is a major.
Just another invention, Dr. Carpenter.
Yeah. And get this, you need to hear this because you're not going to believe the garbage that comes out of these people. MDD is a mental disorder characterized by mood changes and other symptoms that interfere with the person's ability to work, sleep, study, eat, enjoy one's pleasurable activity. And this episode of depression often recur through a person's lifetime. But get this, although some may experience a single occurrence. What does that mean? A single occurrence of major depression, you know, that is connected with people that had a major turmoil in their life, or they had maybe somebody really close to them dying. You know, a single occurrence in a lifetime cannot be considered a depressive disorder. It's just life.
Dr. Carpenter, but also what they're doing is they're negating the basic nature of life. If you lose somebody through a death, if you have a horrible incident in your life, you know, say you're raped, or you have a family member die, or you lose a job.
You're rated by FDA.
FDA, who is not going to be affected by that incident? It's an external incident. It's not an internal malfunction.
Or you come back from the Middle East with PTSD.
Yes, that's right. It is a major event that happens. And instead of acknowledging this is the way life is, people get upset, people get depressed. It would be normal. And they're trying to make it into a situation as if you ever have any sadness or depression in your life, you got to go get this drug, even if it's a one-time thing. Now, how ludicrous is that?
Not only that, they are indicating that it can induce, bring people to suicide, the medication.
Just like Prozac. That's been proven.
Right.
That's what I want, a depression drug that makes me want to commit suicide.
Exactly.
Yeah, that really resolved the problem, didn't it? Yeah, I guess because you're dead and so you are no longer depressed. At least we don't know. Do we know what happens? No. So it's an assumption that they're no longer depressed.
But it's been proven, Dr. Carpenter, it has been proven, okay, that Prozac induces suicidal impulses. That's a known fact, okay? It's a known fact. It's happened over and over.
Well, in fact, this very drug just approved, Brintelix, and other antidepressant drugs have a box warning or a medication guide alerting patient and healthcare professional that antidepressant can increase the risk of suicidal thought.
And it's on the box, you're saying.
Yeah.
Can increase the risk of suicide. So somebody's depressed, upset, whatever, over
We drug him.
a life incident, an incident in their lives that would make anybody be upset, sadness, grief, depression. And yet you're going to take something with the warning that, warning, it may induce suicidal impulses. That is,
Leave them alone. Don't give them anything. They might resolve their problem and not risk suicide.
That's right. It's truly unbelievable.
Yeah. It's unreal that they approve the drug, okay? FDA that is harassing everybody, is harassing the compounding pharmacies, approves the drug. And it doesn't say which pharmaceutical. Yes. Brentellix is co-marketed by Takeda Pharmaceuticals and Lundbeck, both based in Deerfield, Illinois. So those are the company.
It's almost as good as cancer drugs that cause cancer.
Right. And they do. Well, they do solve breast cancer, but they might cause
30 seconds, by the way.
After the first, okay, but they might cause uterine cancer or other things. Okay. So, all right. And then there is another. Well, this is a warning. But of course, this drug is approved. Okay.
Free speech guaranteed. You're listening to the Orion Talk Radio Network.
The easiest way to get away with any large government crime is to simply cry conspiracy theory, and it's a magic phrase, reserved and used exclusively by government. But just for the record, any crime of two or more persons is, by definition, a conspiracy. Our Justice Department knows that, and that means our government knows it as well. Yet when anyone points a finger at them, they yell the magic phrase every time, conspiracy theory. But history knows the sins of Washington all too well. Operation Ajax, MK Ultra, Operation Northwoods, the Iraq 9/11 war lie. Does that really sound trustworthy to you? Next time you hear our government cry conspiracy theory, don't enable the crime by looking away. That's exactly what they want you to do. So take a closer look and think for yourself. Instead of letting the corporate media do it for you, you may just find out that conspiracy theory is indeed conspiracy fact. Orion News Talk, news and views beyond the mainstream media.
Okay, so what we have, just to summarize the situation, box warning, that's what, warning on the box. That's what FDA is pushing for pharmaceutical manufactured by big drug companies, okay? The little compounding pharmacy, well, that's another story. They have to be watched over and closed down, recall their product. But this other drug, FDA-approved drug called Tigasil, and the chemical is tigacycline. It's used for serious infections, okay? And FDA is asking health professional and medical care organization to notice a box warning describing the risk connected with this drug. That was done on September 27 of this year, after they issue a drug safety communication about safety concern in September 2010. And they have not done anything all this time, even though they received information about death taking the intravenous Tigasil, okay? In 3 years, what they have done is nothing. And now they are saying, put a warning on the box that this drug can use for serious to treat serious infection can actually kill people.
And a warning on the box is A-OK, I guess, right?
Well, yeah.
Warning on the box.
This drug is used to treat complicated skin and skin structure infection, complicated intra-abdominal infection, and community-acquired bacterial pneumonia. It's used for these cases as a solution, but it can kill people. Well, if you leave them alone, they might or might not die of what they have, but with that, they're gonna die. And they said, well, the recommendation to healthcare professionals is to reserve Tagasil for the use in situations when alternative treatments are not suitable. Okay? Well, but why should this be used at all if there is so much danger involved in it?
But that's the truth about most of these drugs. There's tremendous danger involved in all of them. And if you do the research, you'll find, like you did, the list of endless possible side effects. And the side effects or the other,
and they're a lot worse than the original problem,
the original condition.
Yeah. But the point is, though, that FDA has approved them and is not pulling them off the market. Now, a compounding pharmacy, because they suspect that they might have problems, because they are not sure of the safety assurance process they use. So, as we discussed before, it could happen that there are patients with some problems. Here, it's certain, almost. Certain death. Very common, a lot more than what could happen, because there are cases listed. That does not warrant for a recall by FDA. No. Just be careful how you use it.
But if it's
be careful.
Could be, might be, possibly, then they'll shut somebody down because it might be, possibly could be. But if it's a certain death warrant, no, we'll just issue a warning. No problem. No worries.
I can't believe that they're actually, with all the headaches and with all the complaints and attacks people about FDA, they still allow this to happen. Oh, well, we put a warning. And what is that going to do? There is a warning. The patient sees, they go to the doctor and say, what about this warning? The doctor said, oh, no, it doesn't apply to you. And then the patient died. Okay. Well, it's okay because the doctor tried his best. Right? It's okay.
I actually had that. Not that I took the drugs, but there were times when I went in and saw a doctor and they prescribed something. And I actually went, okay? I went and I wanted to go to see what the prescription was. And I asked the pharmacist, I need to see something before I fill this prescription. And as soon as I saw it, I said, no thanks. No thanks. Okay? Because I read the things and I take it seriously. And I just can't even imagine how anybody could not take it seriously, because they are so brainwashed into thinking the doctor knows everything. The doctor is a god. The doctor knows best. Oh, it doesn't apply to you. Says who? Why is it on the warning label if it's not applicable to you? Why?
I know. But they tell you it is okay, it is safe for you, and they lie to the patient so the patient will agree to take something. And then, of course, they get really sick and many dies. And it's just unbelievable. It's just the same with the cancer drugs. And one of the things that I noticed over the year was that they keep giving the patient this awful poison, and they say it's okay. They can help him, and it's okay to take it. No, the side effects that you can read about do not apply to your case. Right? And it's okay.
But you said the magic word, Dr. Carpenter, poison. That's precisely what it is. It is poison. And the poison affects the entire body. It's universal in the body. It doesn't just, quote, attack the cancer. No, it's poison. And it is universally destructive to all the tissues of the body.
Well, in fact, that's how some people develop brown nails, because that's a sign of poisoning.
That's right.
It's just unbelievable. But the thing I have to say is that they usually don't say anything about the bad effect or the contraindication or the problem involved with the drug till there is another drug coming on the market that they can push. Okay, either in conjunction with that drug or instead of that drug, so that they can cover up and go on, no matter the damage. And this is the case of this new FDA-approved drug, newly approved. I don't know the day, but the article is September 30th. So, and this drug is called Perjeta, okay? And I talked about this before, pertuzumab, because they said it was going to get approved, and it was approved. Pertuzumab, ridiculous name, was approved, okay, as neoadjuvant breast cancer treatment. And let me explain what it is, okay? Before, they were using... And actually, they say you do not stop using trastuzumab. You keep using trastuzumab, but you can use pertuzumab with it.
Whatever.
I don't know if you don't find this
and
totally
this is only
ridiculous.
3 days ago that this new drug was approved, right? Because it's October.
Yeah.
So 3 days ago, this new thing was approved. I mean, how often? Is it every day some new toxic potion is approved by FDA?
Trastuzumab.
I believe that trastuzumab, I wrote it down, that trastuzumab, hold on a minute, okay?
You don't know your transducumab from your pertuzumab.
I have it here. I think I know what it is, but just before I reconfirm it, I want to make sure that I have it. I had it written down. I believe. Why don't you run it on your computer? I think I know what it is. This is Herceptin. But anyway.
Well, how can you keep track of all these things?
It's not easy. They're all UMAB. Okay, but this new drug, pertuzumab, is neoadjuvant because Perjeta was approved for a patient with advanced or late stage HER2 positive breast cancer, late stage. But now
Genentech.
it's a new use, okay, for HER,
Genentech.
Yeah, trastuzumab, right?
Pertuzumab. Genentech makes it.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying, if you run trastuzumab, I think it's Herceptin. I'm not one of those. Okay, but now the HER2 Perjeta can be used for HER2 positive, locally advanced inflammatory or early stage breast cancer.
It is Herceptin.
Yeah, trastuzumab, that's what I thought, okay? And basically, now you can combine Herceptin with Perjeta. You can, and here they made a mistake because they call early stage breast cancer for tumor greater than 2 centimeters in diameter and positive lymph nodes. No, that is not early stage. That's already advanced stage. But basically, the article still making mistake is saying now Perjeta can be used for both. Can be used for late stage and early stage. and used in conjunction with pertuzumab. It's not something, another chemotherapeutic compound prior to surgery. Okay. So they have a new product, which is great, wonderful, but has to be used with another product already on the market, you see, to be really successful, because they're not going to use anything that wipes out what's already available. You have to use it in conjunction. So the cost of a chemo infusion from $5,000-$6,000 per infusion is going to run to $30,000 because there's several chemical compounds used. But that's done because it's good for you.
Double toxic dose.
And most of them have the same bad side effects. So when you use 2 or more, you multiply by that factor the effect on the patient. And nobody is discussing that. Nobody's going against it. Nobody's opposing it. Oh, no. Okay. Now, let's go back from Herceptin that has to be used with this new drug, because before, keep this in mind, that before Herceptin was used in conjunction with Avastin. And then when Avastin ran into trouble, the medical wanted to still use it, but FDA had recalled. The doctor were using it still, so they had to get something else, and there it is. It is Perjeta. Now can be used. So there you go. You can still have all this cocktail that will kill you, but at least it doesn't have Avastin that everybody knows it kills you for certain.
Which has already killed people. So
yeah.
You've killed people, now it's recalled. But they always have something waiting in the wings. And
right,
it's
so
an endless, inexhaustible process of destruction is what it is.
And then there is this other article. This is a couple of weeks ago. And I never got around to discuss it, but it's important to discuss it in the light of all of these. You know, tamoxifen has been used as the gold standard after breast cancer treatment. You call it treatment, that is breast cancer mutilation and poisoning and burning and all sorts of abuses. Tamoxifen is to be used to keep the cancer from reoccurring. And of course, the big offender of tamoxifen is tremendous amount of weight gain and heart problem. Okay? Side effects of tamoxifen are terrible. But one other problem of tamoxifen, which is common with most chemo products, but tamoxifen is one of the big offenders, is what they call chemo brain. Okay? You can call it brain cloud. Remember that? Brain cloud?
Brain fog. I've heard that term.
Yeah. But I use the word brain cloud because it came from a famous Tom Hanks movie. It was so funny. And so this is just as ridiculous. But yes, it gives you you have problems with thinking, remembering things, and it just, chemo brain is called, and cloudy process of thinking and just having
what
problems.
What else did you expect, Dr. Carpenter? When you're
because those are drugs that can penetrate the blood-brain barrier.
That's right. But you know what this sounds to me like? I mean, I hate to say it, but as I'm sitting here listening to these descriptions, these horrific descriptions, it sounds like somebody's description of hell. Somebody has gone to hell and
it can't come back.
And can't come back. I mean, what could hell be that could be worse than this?
It's just unbelievable. But listen, the doctors, though, the medical establishment, with patient complaining about what I call the brain cloud, they never acknowledged it. And he never said, oh, the people are just exaggerating and it's not it. And whatever it is, it will resolve itself. Yeah, And they never acknowledged. Now, all of a sudden, they are acknowledging that actually happens. It exists.
Yeah, too little, too late.
Oh, no. It's not too little, too late. is something else. Guess what? There is a new drug in the works that counter those side effects.
So now you don't have to worry about the brain cloud then, right?
Right, because there is something that will stop that, will stop the side effects of tamoxifen. And it's still being investigated. This new drug doesn't even have a full name. It's identified as AZD6244.
Mumab.
No, it's not Numab. It might become Numab, but right now it's just letters and numbers.
John
okay.
Doe 1 Mab.
And this drug is not called anything, but protect the brain cell of mice against tamoxifen.
The brain cells of mice. So that means it's a cure-all. It's a panacea of joy.
And it can improve the quality of life. And if we can improve the quality of life and still treat cancer, still poison the patient, it means it's a win-win situation in their opinion, okay?
That's absolute nonsense.
It is.
It's an idiotic term. I hate that term, win-win. There's no winning for anybody except for the pharmaceutical companies and the FDA.
And the AMA.
That's right. They're the only ones that win by raking in the bucks at the expense of pain and suffering.
Why they are admitting that tamoxifen is such a mess? Because then now this drug is coming. But of course, this is being studied. Because in their opinion, it says it protects normal cells, but does not protect cancer cells. Malarkey, it's not possible. They're the same cells.
Exactly. A poison is a poison, and it's applicable universally throughout the body. Whatever effects it has, it's not going to just target the cancer cell.
But get this. The reason why this thing is so great is not only because counter tamoxifen effects, in their opinion, not because in the mice test it was proven, but also it can make cancer cells more sensitive to some types of therapy.
Like what?
How?
What?
How?
Yeah, it could make probably every cell in the body sensitive to more destruction, the way it sounds to me.
Yeah, because you cannot isolate all these years of study, research, work on new drugs. It's proven one thing. You cannot get a drug that only affects cancer. You can't. Because you can. It's your own body, it's your own cells, it's your own DNA. The only difference is that it's constantly in growth. That is not something that you can have a drug control. Oh, you do?
You know, Dr. Carpenter, they make it sound, and I know it's a total lie, but they make it sound like we can erect a cordon sanitaire around the cancer, and this drug will go directly to target the cancer, and it will wipe out the cancer.
20 seconds.
Nothing else will be effective.
That's what we have?
Yep.
My gosh, the time is gone. I really have a lot of other papers that I was going to talk about. But I can't believe the time, but I guess it's because we're so flabbergasted with what's going on. They will not acknowledge the damage of the drug unless they have a new drug in the pipeline coming up. And they say that can do better. It can't. There is not going to be the magic drug. Poison is poison, and it's not going to be magic. Okay. Oh, well. That's all for this that I could cover for this week. Let's see what happens during the week and what we have for the next show. What are the ridiculous? I just wish you would pay attention to what I say and stay away from doctor as much as you can. Stay away from medical solution to all different maladies, because they are not the answer to anything. Drugs are not the answer. So have a good weekend.